I went to the cave on Sunday and had an absolutely marvellous day. It was just brilliant. It was from start to finish a great day. Well, not the driving, but yeah, I can't thank Neil enough for creating that space that allows this sort of thing to happen, where people that are like us can get together and just spend the day enthusing and being excited about the things that we love. So yeah, thank you, Neil. Thank you, Holly, and Derek and Chris are the two volunteers that I know well, and the Dirty Poppadom was also there. Is it Dan? I can't. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. And everybody else that came along. And while we were there, lots of people were handing over things for the charity and for the channel. And I've got behind me a multitude of boxes of things that I need to show on the channel, at least at this stage, because not all of them will make it into videos, and I want there to be a record of what was given to me. It's also for my benefit as well as yours, because once this all gets distributed in the workshop, I might not remember whose it is. So I'm also going to be using my blue tape and a pen to label everything as I go. But yeah, let's get on with it. Snorkers was there, and he handed over some stickers, and I got a new badge to go with my Snorkers badge that lives up on my tool wall up there, which was lovely. And it's always a treat to see Snorkers. He's just one of those individuals that makes you smile every time you see him. So thank you, Snorkers. There are many faces of Snorkers. Andy from Hack Build Restore was there as well, so he handed over some stickers. Now he's also he has a video out on his channel. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. I think it's going to be more than one part, but the first part is certainly out. And oh, I'm cutting that in the wrong place. He's building a custom Amiga 500 to sell in the charity auctions. I'm gonna have to just go for this, aren't I, because I can't work out how to open this box. And he brought along the case to show us, which this is the socket. Oh, it does say sockets on here. So I'm also going to be building an Amiga 500 on a plus board, and so he's given me some spare parts to go along with it. Some purple cable ties, because he's the theme of his channel is purple. We've got some Diagrom stickers here, and there's more stickers in here, but we've got some excellent, these are really handy. Oh, they're from Amiga Kit. There's a little logo down there and an Agnes socket, but yeah, they'll be very handy. So he's given me some stickers for the serial number to go on the base of the Amiga 500, with the serial number as number 1, and my logo. Thank you, they're amazing. And stickers to go on the chips as well. I'm going to have to rattle through everything, so I won't be able to pause on too many things and look too deep at what's going on. But Bobus was there, and he handed over 3 Spectrums. 2 of them are empty, those 2. But this one is complete, and it's already had some work done. It's been recapped with the radial caps rather than axial. I might change those back to axial. I don't trust these ones for short circuits. I've had bad experiences, but it's got a Traco in it. It's also got the Cockroach mod on there. Used to be a 16K issue 2, obviously, and it was upgraded at some point. But yeah, the Cockroach mod goes over to the ULA just to fix some problems that the early ones had, and it's an early ULA as well. I think it has a problem. I can't remember, but it's got a new keyboard membrane in it as well. But yeah, thank you, Bobus. That will go in amongst my other Spectrums. going to have a Spectrum Bonanza at some point. And let's do this one first. These are from Taz. Taz Fay Dodge was there. Now he said that we could do what we want with these. So I mean the theme of this event is going to be Commodore, so these won't be part of that. But I'll keep these for a rainy day. But I will probably. I'm opening this one because there's something unusual about it. Right, so what's unusual about this one? It's the ROM has been delidded. Look at that. I wonder if it still works. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Taz. It was lovely to see you, by the way. Once I'm in a position of getting most of the donations shown on the channel from that day, I've also got 2 big boxes behind me from Colin, who donated the VIC-20 and an Amiga 500 in a recent video, and he's donated something else which is really special, but I'll probably make that a separate video. So this is from Henry from my Discord, and another person. It was just a delight to finally meet. It's, you know, we interact online and it's fine. You know, it's a nice way to meet lots of people, but meeting people face to face is just a different thing. This is a Slogger Turbo. Look at that. So the hack that, no, I say hack, the clever bodge that Chris did to the Elk ULA to allow turbo mode, that's basically what this does. This is the actual Slogger Turbo from back in the day, from 1985. So I want to do this to my Electron, so that I've got a period correct Acorn Electron, and then I'm going to pit them off against each other. I wonder if we can actually benchmark it. I'll have to see if I can get Chris to write me a benchmark. But thank you, Henry. That's a brilliant thing to own. I never expected to be able to come across one of those. I've not been through this one yet at home, but I had a quick look when this was 8-Bit Ross from my Discord. He's also on Twitter and places like that. Who's another, everybody's lovely, but I have to keep saying it. He's just a super supportive and really nice guy. So he gave me this big box of things. This has got a Gotek in it, and always useful. Oh, it's got an OLED screen in it already. That's really handy. A C2N tape deck. Looks in reasonable condition. Needs a clean inside. I can see the pinch roller is really dirty. This, what is it? Oh yeah, Gravis stick thing. This one is for me because I didn't have a joystick for my Apple II. Well, Ross actually sent this over to me previously. This this Amatic Joy 2, which has got the Apple joystick interface thing on it. So it's an Apple joystick, but it works, but it's not centered. It's really difficult to get. You know, you have to have the adjustment all the way one way but in both directions, and the insides of it need attention, but it's all thin pieces of plastic that are all clipped together, and I don't see it surviving being fixed. So I'd rather just not mess around with that one too much, and Ross has kindly handed over this one, which that needs a clean. He says we'll work with it, and it's got a standard joystick port on it like that. He's also given me some stuff for the charity. So we've got Commodore 64 Armageddon Man, VIC-20, 6 great computer games. A value pack. Oh, nice. Wacky Waiters, Arcadia. Oh, yes, I'm going to have to play that. Catch Snatcher, Bewitched, and 3D Jumping Jack, and Invaders. Oh, lovely. Thank you. That's brilliant. There's a couple of... I thought these were cartridges, but they're not. These are tapes. Warrior 2 and Super Sunday. Open the other end. Yeah, so they're tape games. And a VIC-20 cartridge, Choplifter. One of my all-time favourite games. They're probably, you know, arcade games. Choplifter and Gorth, which I got to play for the first time in probably 30 years at the Arcade Archive, and it was glorious playing on the real thing. What on earth is all this? Arcade Action Special. Ah, right. It's they are all like mini mags. Stuff to go with auctions. So yeah, top 20 screen stars of 1985. This there's probably going to be a few of these. So we've got a crystal C64 and a crystal Amiga 500. But yeah, this is going to go with one of the crystal machines. I think I'm going to have other. So who was it who was talking about? Oh, Fuzzy Lee is. He's putting together a crystal or a transparent joystick from not oneclickprint.com, from Monster Joysticks, and we're going to get some custom decals printed for it. But anyway, that's Ross's box of joy. Thank you, Ross. This one is from Devilish Designs. Dave is someone I've met at a previous event in Cambridge and had a lovely time with, and he sent over, well, look at this a cracking thing right off the back. We've got a Commodore calculator. What you got? A model number? A 786D in full working condition. Hey, it works. So we've got that Commodore calculator, but that's not the only one we've got. Over the next few videos, you'll see. But this is the... oh, actually, let's have a look at this first. He said he didn't even know where he got this from, but did I want it, and what was it? And we worked out from the markings on it. It says IC24, IC23, IC4, IC26, IC25, and IC3. And those happen to be the logic chips that control the upper and lower memory on a ZX Spectrum. And this is a ZX8401 replacement. So that will definitely be useful. Oh, this one's for me. He's given me a Kim 1. Look at that. I think, is this the first not home computer, this is the first kit computer from Commodore. It's got Devilish Design, Kim 1 Replica Revision 1.1. I love the matte green PCB. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I will treasure that. That's that will be used, you know, just to experience it, but then it's going to be on display when I finally get my back wall sorted. That comes with some parts, but I absolutely know nothing about this. It's got Devilish Design back on the silk screen as well, or on the PCB. Oh, it looks like a tape interface. I don't know why. Is that a joystick? Power board. So it needs +5 and +12 and ground. Marvelous. And there's a purple PCB of the same thing. And here are some more purple PCBs, but we'll come back to those in a sec. This one is for the charity, and this is a Kim 1 kit that he's put together for me, a complete kit to build it with instructions, I suppose. Hopefully there's instructions. Yeah, there are instructions. All of the chips in here, all of the components, a USB stick, all the bits and pieces. There's the power board edge connector, and here is the special edition purple PCB for the build. A Commodore Kim 1 from Devilish Design. It's just, and look at the quality of that. It's gold Enig and just a nice thick PCB. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to putting that together. David, thank you. So that is going to be one of the special auctions. That's going to be a cracking, well, it's going to be fun for me to build it, which is kind of the name of the channel, and that's going to raise a good amount of money, I'd expect. Without spoiling things too much, we've got that's the earliest Commodore machine. We've obviously got some calculators as well. We're not going to get all of the calculators, but we're trying to represent everything going through, and the only gap that I can see is a PET. And I know Reese in the live stream was humming and hawing about whether he would donate the PET, but I don't think it's a good idea. And the reason being postage, because I'm not going to be able to post something with a CRT in it without risking losing it in post, and it would be devastating. So let's say that we've covered the PET because and done it not because we can't, but because we shouldn't. So we're doing the right thing by not auctioning off a PET as well. But yeah, we've got everything from the VIC-20 up. This box is not a robot. This is what Will said to me. Arcadesy and Lottie were there at the cave. They gave me this box, including another Commodore calculator. Oh, I think he said that the power button was bypassed, so this might need a bit of attention. But oh, that's lovely. That's really nice. But so we've got 2 Commodore calculators so far. That one comes with its own little pouch. Commodore calculator in a pouch, and this is something he's managed to source for me for the builds. There's 3 Raspberry Pi 3Bs, I believe, so I can use these for the PiStorm builds, but I'll have to remove the USB ports, and I think the Ethernet port as well, but that doesn't matter. They are going to be perfect for that. Oh, this is not from this is not from Will. I slipped this into his box. This is from Neil. We've got a This Week in Retro mug, and apparently what you have to do is lick Dave's face. It tastes like Iron Brew. So yeah, Neil kindly donated that when I said give me a mug. Oh, we'll be auctioning that off on the day, and a current going rate is about £125. So anyway, back to Will's stuff. This I think yeah, this was from Will. A Flashfire joystick. That's terrible. This is for me, but it might turn into charity. Most things end up turning into something charity. Oh, it's a green one. What earth is that? Pi-top speaker. It's a Pi-top, which is basically a laptop with a Raspberry Pi in it. That sounds like there's a load of screws rolling around in there. There is. Spares. I believe, yeah, that slides out of there to allow you access to the to the gubbins inside. Which Raspberry Pi is that? That looks like a 3 as well. Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, yes, another Pi 3. That's pretty cool. There's more. So this lovely branded Commodore 3.5-inch disc box, wicked software. So that will be included in the auctions. Ah, Sidekick 64. He's put together a kit for me. And these are cool. There's 2 boards in there. So not Sidkick, but a Sidekick. So it's RAM expansion for the Commodore 64, amongst other bits and pieces it can do. So that will be included with a Commodore 64, maybe with the Crystal. Oh, I stole these from Neil as well. A lot of stuff got thrown into Will's box. So Will saw this in the, this was going to be thrown out into the garbage. And he thought, I know what I'll do with that. I'm going to turn that into a rather sexy Commodore 64 power supply. It's a lovely case, like a hammerite blue case. And yeah, he's built a Commodore 64. Oh, of course he's Rage Against the Retro. I keep just saying, I should really plug your stuff properly, Will, sorry. So Will is Rage Against the Retro, which is a Twitch streaming channel with him and Lottie, and they're all about the retro, and they're just lovely, friendly people, and they're great fun to watch. But yeah, made by Rage Against the Retro for morefunmakingit.co.uk charity auction 2024. So he's branded it for us. Thank you. That's amazing. It's a lovely one. So that one I think is probably going to have to go with the Crystal C64 as well. That's the perfect power supply for that. Looking at these, I did actually pick up a donation, quite a significant donation, something brand new, never used, still sealed in its original packaging, made by Commodore, will be auctioned off as part of the charity event. And yeah, I think it's surprising the lengths that Neil has gone to for this charity auction. And we have my good friend Matt from Tech Made Easy. So Neil, you're branding, get off my channel, get off my lawn. Matt gave me this. Apparently this is complete. It's a revision 6A. Revision 6A. It's got the 8372A Agnes in it, and everything's there. There's no battery damage from an expansion card that I can see. But he says that it grey screens, so this will be something to have a look at. Oh, there's a little bit of corrosion under here, possibly. So that'll be a project to actually repair. But in terms of spare parts, I can actually turn one of the revision 5 working boards into a something that can do 1 megabyte chip RAM. That is just the most important part here. Plus I'll get loads of perfect spares if I need them for the build. Fantastic. I've got some stuff from Simon, Ginger Hippie Gaming, and this is for me. And guess where these are from? So this is actually Simon's Game Gear. He wants this kept, and he wants me to restore it for him, and he wants the case to be original. He wants the buttons and the case and the motherboard obviously to be original, but we're going to replace the glass bezel, and we're going to replace the screen as well with an up-to-date one. But everything else needs to stay original. Whether that's possible or not remains to be seen. I'm also missing a battery door here, so I'm going to have to find one of those. I'm not sure if you're aware, Simon, but there is a little bit of damage in this corner here. And this one is for me. I have an Auric one that has been, somebody's tried to repair previous, and they did the cardinal sin of one thing you can't do on an Auric one is put sockets in where the RAM are, where the RAM chips are, because the case at that point is so narrow here that you can't then get the case back on. There was a lot of work done on my one, which means there's potentially broken traces and wires that don't go through the motherboard. And it was becoming quite a lot of work to actually, I would have ended up having to strip it all down. It's covered in bodge wires already and it still doesn't work. So I've got this one, which is in quite poor condition inside, but should give me enough parts to combine the two into one. So I will finally have an Auric one. Something else that Simon sent over. Well, he sent over his Amiga CD32 for me to recap, and a Philips CDI to have a look at. I'm not sure what's wrong with this one, or if there's anything wrong with it, or if it just needs a recap. But he also gave me this. This is a channel donation. It's so big, look at it. If I turn that around that way so you can see it on this screen. That's the expansion unit. And this is the computer. This thing's a tank. It's an NEC PC 8001 BE. I know very little about these. They're obviously pre-PC standard PC. There's a lot going on with this, but inside it's not too bad. I just don't know if I've got enough stuff here to make it work. Might just work. We don't know why it was there. It might have been faulty. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, Ginger Hippie Gaming. If you want to see more items being pulled out of the Pigeon Poo warehouse, go and check out Simon's channel. I'll put a link in the description. Ugh, it finally happened. I got my first PC. Chris G from Discord and various places has finally made me crack. But this actually has a bit of a history, this one. So the previous owner passed away due to dementia. He was previously the news reporter in Radio Caroline, which is a pirate radio station here in the UK. He was supposed to be a consultant on the Boat That Rocked, but didn't, which was like a documentary, I think, but didn't because they were not being historically accurate. He was also, was it The Boat That Rocked? Might have been a series or a film, I suppose. I vaguely remember. I recognise the title. He was also in the SFX business and has many movies to his credit, including driving the F-16 that Michael Douglas was operating in one of the Duel of the movies. I think it was I thought that was Romance in the Stone. Jewel in the Nile, Romance in the Stone, one of those. It's nice to have it, and a machine with a little bit of history, but it's my first PC, and I'm going to call this one the thin end of the wedge. Where am I going to put all this stuff? So I've got this one, which is a big box, and it's got the owner's details on it, and this is from Chris Cathers, who works at the Cave as a volunteer, and he's donated a Checkmate. But yeah, it's a Checkmate Amiga case. It's huge. I'm not going to open it yet. It's never been opened. Chris bought this some time ago, and it's been sitting waiting for him to put an Amiga 1200 into it, but he's never got round to it. And it's got all some extras in it. So it's got a keyboard case inside, so you can take the keyboard out of an Amiga 500 or 1200 and put it into that case to make an external case. It's got the case risers and standard 3.5-inch drive bay, front panel blank and port fitting plate, white DVD panel, and white blank rear access plate as well. And all of the prices are on here, and this did not come cheap. Thank you, Chris. Along with that, Chris handed over this bag of goodies. Randomly, there's a ZX Spectrum foot in the bottom of this bag. I'll keep that, they're handy. So in here is, this has a name. This is, oh yeah, Keyra. So you can plug in an Amiga 1200 or an Amiga 600 keyboard, or, oh look, you can plug in a C16, a +4, a C64 or a VIC-20. That's amazing. And we've got joystick ports, I suppose, a power switch, a USB out port for, oh, please read the manual before connecting the LEDs. Okay, I'll definitely do that. A USB cable, which connects to, I think, the other end connects to the keyboard in the external one, or maybe it's just an external keyboard. I really don't know. I'm going to have to do some homework on this, so we'll see about that. But oh yeah, maybe this is the, yes, USB keyboard adapter. So that, I think, goes in the case that has the external keyboard in, and then you can use this to plug into that, which then plugs into this. So you can have an external A1200 keyboard. Better keep that static safe. Checkmate 1500 plus, so PSU control board designed by Rob Cranley. Marvelous. That's going to be a fun build as well. What's in here? Oh yeah, an Amiga 1200, an 8 megabyte expansion for Amiga 1200. So this actually begs the question. We don't have an Amiga 1200 in the auction, you know, as part of the charity auction currently. What I was thinking is we needed an Amiga 1200. I mean, we haven't currently got an Amiga 600, but without spoiling too much, that is going to happen. We've got Amiga 500s. We've got, you know, standard 500s and Amiga 500 plus. We've got Commodore 64 bread bins, and we've got Commodore 64Cs. We've even got something I'll show you in a second from Tech Made Easy Matt that's going to make one of them into, actually show you that now. Tech Made Easy Matt gave me this, and that is an Aussie 64C case in perfect condition. You don't see those very often. So that is going to be one of the Commodore 64s. So we've got the Kim one, we've got calculators, we've got VIC-20s, we've got a gap where the +4 and the C16 is, but again, watch this space very soon. The only thing that I have not got a plan for yet is the Amiga 1200, which I would like to put in this Checkmate case. So what I'm thinking is that maybe we could do a mini crowdfund to buy an Amiga 1200, because they're not cheap. I can't buy one, and I wouldn't expect somebody to give up their Amiga 1200 for me to cannibalize to go into another case for a charity. It's just, you know, for one person to donate Amiga 1200, I can't ask that. I mean, if somebody wants to do it, then I'm not going to stop them, but let's do it all together. Let's crowdfund it. So what I'll do is I'll set up a target I'll find out how much we need roughly to raise, because it's going to be something that we buy from eBay, or if someone's got an Amiga 1200 there for sale, that they, especially a ratty one with a poor case, or you know, some problems with the case, needs a working keyboard, then that would be perfect. If somebody's got one for sale that they would like to sell us for not eBay prices, that would be great. But if we have to go to eBay, then we have to go to eBay. We can find one on there, but I'll find out how much money we need to do that, and I'll set a target on Kofi, and if people would like to contribute to that, then that would actually be, I mean, we've got so many things that are going to be crowning achievements on this, where, you know, we've got a Kim 1, to sell. We've got Crystal C64 that's going to have an LED keyboard and going to be super fancy with all the peripherals you could ever want. We've got an Amiga 500 in the crystal case, a 500 plus in a crystal case with a fancy purple motherboard and that I'm building, and just so many different bits and pieces. All of the bases are going to be covered, but an Amiga 1200 is kind of the pinnacle in terms of Amigas. It's the one that everybody wants. I'll set that up at some point today. Thank you, Chris, for your amazing donation. That I'm really looking forward to putting that one together as well. Oh, Yawning Angel Keith handed over this box contains Easy Amos. So we've got that's a lovely thing to hand over with. I might do that as a separate thing, but it might be better with got a floppy drive that's apparently a bit iffy and a working power supply. If you want to learn about Amos, go and check out Yawning Angel Keith's channel, because he does tutorial videos on Amos, and he has a brilliant way of teaching. Now, and rather bizarrely, we've got an Amiga 1200, but it's a bit empty. But this might be something we can actually auction if someone's got an Amiga 1200, you know, that they don't want to, but they need to restore. There's a perfect Amiga 1200 case there, so maybe we can auction that on its own. But I can't fill it with something because I've got a home for an Amiga 1200 already. Okay, one of the gaps to fill is a +4. So this is from, I've written on here, Dan from Retro Recollections, who I got to meet for the first time on Sunday. And he's another delight of a man. I think this one might have some issues, so it might need a repair video, which would be great. It comes with its manuals and power supply, and more importantly, the tape deck with the proper mini DIN on it. Hopefully this doesn't need too much work. It does look in really good condition, actually. So yeah, that's complete. A complete unit. Let's fingers crossed the TED. I mean, if the TED's broken, they're not very expensive, so we can sort that out. But everything else should be very repairable. Thank you, Dan. It's a lovely donation. This is a charity donation, by the way. And to fill in the gap left by the +4 over there was one of the TED chips, and here we've got a C16. Now, I've got the blue tape on here with no name on it because, being old and very forgetful, and it was a day where people were just walking up. They were queuing up at the back of my car to put stuff in. It was bizarre. I've forgotten who gave me this one. I've asked on my Discord, but nobody's claimed it yet, and I'm racking my brain and going through the lists, but I have a bit of a mental block for names and faces, and everybody blurs into one eventually. And if you try to convince me it was one person, I'd probably believe you, even if it wasn't. But I will try to put right once I find out who this one is from, the name will be added. But again, we've got the correct data set to go with it. We've got a power supply to go with it, although I'm not very keen on these ones, but we'll see. Well, I'll check it out first. And we've got a horrendous Commodore joystick. Oh my God, that feels awful. But again, that's got to go with it. It's got the right port on it. Why would they change them? Commodore, what were you thinking of? This will be cleaned up and restored and put in the auction as well. Thank you, whoever that was. I will probably add a little bit in here in editing. I almost forgot Lee Smith brought me some stuff. He gave me this Atari 65XE, which is quite exciting until you see inside. This, we've got a complete keyboard. I think the membrane is shot on it though. It might be all right. There's a suspicious line going across there, but there's something missing in here. All of the chips basically have gone, which is fine. This is we'll call this one a long-term project. But that's still cool to have, and that can sit on a shelf eventually, and maybe one day I'll find a motherboard for it, or all of the chips, and that'll be a long-term project. He gave me some scrap C64 motherboards, so we've got a long board and a short board. Oh, wrong way. There's a few, bits and pieces left on them. There's a kernel ROM left over there. Quite a few logic chips. But the best thing about these is things like the switches are always handy, and connectors. There's a fuse on there and a fuse on this one as well, so they'll be handy. And this is the real kiddie. This is the one I was very excited about seeing pop up. The missing piece of Atari that I needed for a future video. This is a diagnostic card for the XL or XE. Right, so that, thank you, Lee, that's marvellous, but this is fantastic. Now, it does have a problem. I'm pretty sure it works, but the keyboard is not working. So the edge connector is gone. There's missing fingers on that ribbon cable there. But it's a PCB under here. I'm assuming I can just solder in a new ribbon cable and put on the other end of it, have connectors of some kind that I can then bodge into this connector here. It should be something that's doable. But yeah, that's an important one for an upcoming video that I wanted to do. I've been wanting to do for a while, but my XEGS decided to die, and this might help me fix my XEGS as well. Oh, I just noticed it's all MT RAM. Marvellous. Thank you, Lee. I've still got the box from Colin two boxes from Colin with donations to open. So I'm going to stop this video now and just make this one about the stuff that was handed over at the cave. Thank you everybody that donated. It was an amazing day. It's Tuesday now, 2 days later, and I'm still shattered. So much energy was spent. My throat closed up at least 3 times from talking for hours and hours on end with people. It was just the best day. I had a brilliant time, and I can't wait to do it again. In fact, the next time that I get to meet up with people is going to be at the end of this month. I think it's the 29th of June at the Kickstart event in Nottingham. I'm going on the Saturday. I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going up and coming back on the same day. And I get to meet lots of my friends there, and some of them have got some stuff to hand over as well. The charity auction this year is going to be wild. We had, I don't know how many auctions we had, 7 or 8 in total, including the smaller things as well. There's going to be 3 or 4 times that, at a guess. It's going to be things that are going to be ending all through the day. So it will be exciting. I can't wait to get it done. Right, so yeah, thank you very much for watching that one. I will start recording the next one, which is going to be Colin's donation, another mega donation in the next one. Bye.